Executive Council approves NNPC and ECOWAS deal for construction of Nigeria-Morocco gas pipeline. FIRS vows to publicly name and shame tax defaulters as investors lost 8.7 billion naira in market capitalization on the first trading day in June. And oil prices fell on Thursday as investors cashed in on a recent rally ahead of a key producers meeting later in the day. This is Business Express on a network service of the Nigerian Television Authority, the NTA, and we are reaching you from Abuja, the nation's capital. I'm Leah Katung-Babachunde. You're welcome. The Federal Executive Council this Wednesday received the report on the first quarter gross domestic product status from the Ministry of Finance, Budget and National Planning. This was at the Council's meeting held at the Presidential Villa in Abuja, chaired by Vice President Yemi Osinbajo.
A gradual economic stability from the recession that we witnessed in 2020, and also it shows the sixth quarter of positive growth that the Nigerian economy has presented. Even though there has been growth in some sectors, there are significant contraction in others, but the net effect is a positive growth. We're very mindful of the fact that unless we have most of the sectors growing, especially the growth in the jobs impacting sectors, that this growth that is positive will not be directly felt by the people.
The Federal Inland Revenue Service, FIRS, says it will commence the process of enforcement of recovery of unremitted tax deductions owed by some states and local governments in Nigeria. Executive Chairman Muhammad Nami on Wednesday on the federal government's official Twitter account stated that the service would also publicly name and shame the defaulting states and local governments. Nami said that the tax authority noted that most states and local governments have failed to remit to the service withholding tax and value-added tax deductions from payments made to contractors and service providers by them as required by law. The Naira on Wednesday exchanged at 419 to the dollar at the investors and exporters window compared to 419.5 on Tuesday, representing 0.12% appreciation. It also appreciated at the parallel market. It exchanged at 600 Naira to a dollar from the previous 605 Naira. Let's see the official exchange rates. The Naira appreciated to 409 to a dollar, the official window, as we mentioned to you moments ago. It actually touched the 600 Naira mark and above that as well 2 weeks ago at the parallel market, but clinched a significant gain across states in the country. The Naira is our focus of discussion this morning on the program, and we have joining me virtually Aminu Gwedebi. He is the President Association of Bureau de Change Operators of Nigeria, APCON, and he is joining me all the way from Canada this beautiful Thursday morning. Thank you for joining us, Mr. Aminu.
Money, thank you for having me.
Great. Perhaps we start by looking at Nigeria's exchange rate that has been stable at the parallel market between 600 and 605 naira to a dollar since the middle of last month. Now, how did we get here? And what are we not getting right to see the naira fluctuate at this magnitude?
I think, thank you for this opportunity to share what are the market intelligence, market fundamentals that lead us to where we are. I will try to do justice due to lack of time, because this is a topic that you cannot even finish it in 2 hours.
Of course.
Where we are, where we come from, where we are, and where we are going. But to summarize it, the economy or the FX market, as you rightly defined, the FX market is like any other market where you have buyers and sellers of a commodity. And what is that commodity in this market? We are talking of foreign exchange. So that is just what that market is, the interplay of those behaviors, the buyers and the suppliers determine the activity. So like I said, it is a fragile market now. It is a war of attrition. The Naira is like facing a war of attrition presently. What I mean is even beyond depreciation, is beyond devaluation. People should know the difference between devaluation and depreciation. Devaluation is when the federal government or the central bank fix the rate, while depreciation is interplay of market forces. While attrition is erosion, the value of our local currency, like a gully erosion, you know, in terms of geography. So that's what the Naira is facing. We can all see the characteristics, the market characteristics in terms of the nature of the Naira. It is fragile, it is losing value, it is eroded, it is dislocated. This is the description of where that currency is. It's losing confidence. Nobody have any confidence in it. Most especially the owners of the currency, Nigerians don't have currency of it. Like you try to do the comparison, it's a long journey. How do you get to this? One, this is a country that we have not gotten ourselves in terms of an effective policy to manage the retail exchange of the market. You know, there are different buyers. There are the big buyers, big sellers. The CBN, of course, is one of them. You have the bankers, you have the exporters, you have the diaspora and remittance Nigerians abroad. These are different sources. So how does the government get their own to bring in liquidity? Only one sector, only one item. Despite our resources in this country, we first found ourselves in a monocultured economy, single product economy. So in a situation whereby all your earnings is dependent on a single product, which means you are subjected to the whims and caprices of international prices. Anytime the price of crude oil, which is our major oil product, we tend to laugh. Like what we are seeing now, the dollar has gone to 120. And it's even part of the reason why also the crude oil have also gone to 120. It's also part of the reason why we're also seeing the dollar to go up to about 600, 610, like you have rightly said. So anytime there is lower prices in terms of our crude oil, which affect our reserve. You know, the reserve of any country is its own oxygen. That's our oxygen. That's our buffer. That's what people will use to speculate. Can Nigeria meet its 10-month import? Can it meet its liquidity? And the only thing that adds to our buffer is the proceeds of crude oil. So you can see how, you know, precarious, vulnerable the economy is. Is a very, very strong and fundamental factor.
Okay, if I may come in here, you talked about the one item affecting our inflow of foreign exchange. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's true.
Good. So I would want to know from you the efforts on non-oil exports to bring in forex. Are we
Yes,
seeing? Are you noticing that it's making any impact at all?
you see, like I've stated, the policies are inhibitive and also inconsistent. Today, you said you are supplying to a participant, like the Bureau de change. Tomorrow, you said you are not supplying it to him. Today, you are giving incentive to exporters. There are this guarantee, by exporter scheme, then incentive. When you bring your export proceed, you are entitled to have some incentive. Till now, I heard the exporters are still complaining. If you look at even the rationing, because of the limited resources that we have, so there's always a rationing regime. If you look at import licenses, even since when the country was having its independence, you come to structural adjustment program, you call to World Dutch auction system, you come to retail Dutch auction system, you come to single exchange rate, you come to SME window, I&E window, 5 naira for $1, RT, B200, all these are policies.
Okay,
A way
so
to ensure that the naira is stable. But we have not achieved results till now. And
how are marketers like you, who are players in that particular sector of the economy, finding it in terms of accessing forex with all the policy somersaults you've mentioned, and of course with the interventions we're seeing to ensure that we have adequate access to forex?
well, it's not peculiar. The scarcity of foreign exchange is not even peculiar to me as an operator. It's a general problem. It's a government problem that affects each and every Nigerian. There's virtually no any Nigerian that have not interfaced with an operator with me in terms of the need of foreign exchange. So
Okay.
it's a
Sorry, before
precarious
you go
situation.
ahead, I'm told we're also being joined by Tunde Bakari, now not the pastor, but the economist. And so we see you there. So you're welcome to the program. We'll round up with Mr. Gwedebe in a bit and then revert to you.
So, like what we have been doing,
Good morning.
we are the most potent and the most effective stabilization exchange route of the Central Bank of Nigeria too. We have done this in 2006 during the present governor of Anambra State, Professor Soludo, when he was in the CBN. You see, it's a problem of liberalization of the market. If the market is not liberalized, you begin to have monopoly. You begin to have price discrimination. So at that time, this is the scenario of the market. He now made the market open, deeper, liquid, by bringing the change, opening a window that now increases liquidity, that liberalize the market, that remove the discrimination, that break the monopoly. And we found ourselves in a stabilized exchange rate for many years. And the subsequent governors, even the Emir of Kano, Sanusi, also followed that same mechanism. The present governor too, when he came, he even boosted it, as far as I'm concerned, to ensure that there is liquidity. Because you see, the stability of your currency, the value of your currency, goes a long way to give confidence. Perception is about perception of your own country. It's the sovereignty of your country. It's not weapon that you have. Even America, the sovereignty of America is not in its own weapons, but in its own value of the dollar. So that's why it's important, it's government, that we should make sure that our value of the currency, local currency, remain effective, remain stable. And this we can only do if we diversify our economy. Even the policies are mostly dependent on demand measures. Imagine recently we are increasing interest rate. How about the supply? America can wake up tomorrow and increase interest rate. Canada can do the same thing because the supply of the product that people will go into the market is always available. In our own case, we are battling with light, we are battling with road to produce toothpick. So imagine increasing the interest rate. We are looking at demand side. We should look at the supply side. How do we diversify supply? How do we put infrastructure so as to ensure that we don't depend more on other issues? This is a country that have over 10,000 porous borders. A lot of imported goods, foreign goods can come in, and it's also easier for illegal evacuation. People move currency to China, to UAE. There's what we call hawala. Hawala, you can give me naira in Nigeria, and I can give you dollar in the UAE. I can give you dollar in China. I can give you pounds in UK because of the nature of our porous borders. Also, monopoly. If you look at diaspora remittances, we only have our 65 IMTSO, International Money Transfer Operators, that are into the mechanism. 80% of them are foreigners. If you look at the policy, as a Nigerian, I need about 2 billion naira capital to have an IMTSO. But a foreigner, the capitalization is $1 million. Even at parallel market, $1 million is 600 million naira. For him to come on IMTSO. And me, I need to come up about 2 billion naira to do it. So you see, these are discriminatory policies that should be looked into so that we can have our homegrown. And that is why we have given the Apex Bank our mine.
Okay.
We are operators where we know where it is.
Okay.
That you have done it before. Why do we have IIE window?
Okay.
You see, if insofar as fixed and flexible exchanging market rate continue to exist in the system, there will continue to be a wider premium.
Okay,
and
I'm told that we don't have any more time. I'm sorry. So we're going to invite you back as soon as we can, so we can take the conversation further. I've been speaking with the chair, Aminu Gwadebi, the president of APCON. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Great. So next is our Surviving COVID-19 series with the cosmetic vendor, Ayuba Ahmed, and then we will return to this very discussion.
Surviving COVID-19 series is brought to you in partnership with the Central Bank of Nigeria.
I have been in the business of cosmetic for 10 years now. It's actually my type of business, and the profit is good. The market was good before COVID-19 lockdown. I had to stay back at home because of the lockdown. I came back after it was relaxed. I've never applied for any loan. If I'm to get the CBN loan, I'll invest in my cosmetic business so that I can expand it. Whatever you make from sales, you appreciate God.
Surviving COVID-19 series is brought to you in partnership with the Central Bank of Nigeria.
Nigeria and the Kingdom of Spain have signed 9 agreements and memoranda of understanding in critical economic sectors aimed at deepening and expanding the highly beneficial relations between the two countries. This is the outcome of President Muhammadu Buhari's state visit to Spain, the first since coming to power.
Way I would say is we've strengthened the relationship, reinforced the relationship with Spain. So we're looking to see increased investment by Spain in Nigeria. So that's going to be a real plus. Spain is also the largest importer of Nigerian gas, and I think the 3rd largest importer of Nigerian crude. So there's a strong relationship already there, and the importance of this visit is really to build on that.
Volume of trade between our two countries is very, very limited, and most of it is about 97-98% of it has to do with the purchase of oil and gas from Nigeria by the Kingdom of Spain. We believe that there is scope for increased trading between us, and we have both agreed to work towards that.
The International Finance Corporation estimates that micro, small and medium enterprises in developing countries like Nigeria have an unmet financing need of $5.2 trillion every year. This is because they are less likely to be able to obtain bank loans. Acting Director General of the Small and Medium Development Agency of Nigeria, Smeden Olawale Fasanya, says the agency is poised to reduce the access gap with the introduction of its microfinance bank and continue support for small businesses in the country, especially MSMEs involved in agribusiness.
We officially signed MOU with some banks to do a matching fund program for MSMEs, especially those in the agri sector, where SMEs in the agribusiness can access between 1.2 and 5 million naira to inject into their businesses. This is one of the numerous programs that we hope to roll out. For example, before the end of this year, we plan to also launch a microfinance bank. So, and this microfinance bank, the agency has the largest share.
The Nigerian equities market extended its bearish run this Wednesday. The all-share index recorded a marginal decline of 0.03% to settle at 52,974.15 points. 295 million shares swapped hands in 4,637 deals valued at 3.5 billion naira. Market capitalization dropped to 28.5 trillion naira. Transcorp Guarantee Trust Holding Company and Conoil were the most sought-after equities in the course of the day. The next is Global Market Update with Nekaoko.
The Federal Reserve has already given a strong indication of its rate hike intentions, meaning U.S. stocks could struggle for direction over the summer. However, U.S. stock futures were little changed early Thursday morning as economic concerns dragged down investor sentiment. Futures tied to the Dow Jones Industrial Average edged down 20 points. S&P 500 futures and Nasdaq 100 futures were also down. Stocks in Asia declined in Thursday trade, with Australia's April trade surplus coming in higher than expected. Hong Kong's Hang Index led losses regionally as it declined 1.28%. The Shanghai Composite edged 0.32% higher, while the Nikkei 225 dipped 0.16%. European markets climbed this Thursday as traders continued to assess new data on inflation and economic activity. Germany DAX rose 0.4%, the French CAC was up 0.6%, while the UK's FTSE is closed for the Queen's Platinum Jubilee celebrations. African markets have just opened and are yet to post Thursday's figures.
And on the commodity market, oil prices fell this Thursday as investors cashed in on a recent rally ahead of a key producers meeting later in the day, with some speculation that Saudi Arabia may boost oil production in response to urging by the United States. Brent crude was down $2.08 at $114.21 a barrel, while U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude dropped $2.25 to $113 a barrel. Let's see prices of oil and other commodities. end this episode of the program. We couldn't bring on Tunde Bakare because of some technical issues, but I would like to also extend our gratitude to Aminu Gwadabi, who joined us all the way from Canada. Thank you for joining the program, and don't forget, you can access all previous episodes of Business Express on YouTube on the NTA's channel. You can also communicate with us on our social media handles. Join us again Friday at 3 p.m. for another package. I'm Leah Katung Baba Tunde saying have a wonderful day.